Hello, my name is Dr. Philip Ayi. In this lecture, we are going to be looking at building capacity for ministry exploits. And before we get into the lectures, I want to say a big thank you to our president, Dr. Festus, for the opportunity granted unto me to be part of this great school. Doctor, God richly bless you. Class, let's go into Matthew chapter 13, verse 3 to 8. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed some seeds, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprang up, because they had no depthness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up and choked them. But other fell onto good ground, and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, and some 30-fold. Again, I want us to look at Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 and 15. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servant, and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. We are looking at building capacity for ministry exploits. Now, if you are a very good Bible student, you realize that one of the strategies of Jesus in teaching was to use parables to drive home serious kingdom lessons and principles. And this portion of scriptures that we've just read are part of some of the parables that Jesus used to teach his disciples lessons. The first portion of scripture that we read in Matthew chapter 13, verse 3 to 8, it tells us about the fact that a sower went out to sow some seeds. And the seeds that he went out to sow, some fell by the wayside, some also fell on stony places, and then some fell among thorns, and some also fell on good ground. Now, for each of the grounds or for each places the seeds were sown, they had different results. And I want you to please notice this. They had different results. Those that also fell on good ground also had different results. My interest in this parable is verse 8. But other fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, and some 30-fold. So some of the seeds fell on a good ground, the same seed, but the result or the fruit of the seeds that fell on good grounds were not the same. Some of the seeds that fell on good ground produce 100-fold, some produce 60-fold, and some produce 30-fold. The second portion of scripture also that we read, Jesus gave a parable and said, a certain man traveled to a far country, and he gave his servant talents. To some he gave them 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1. Same servants, but the talent that was given to them differs. One person was given 5 talents, another was given 2, and another was given 1. This man gave the talents to his servant based on the capacity of each of the servants. So I've been able to give you the biblical basis for our lecture today. Now, it has been rightly noted that everyone has a potential to be great in life and ministry. Everyone has the potential to do exploits in ministry, but it is the capacity of individuals that will determine if the potential of the greatness of their ministry will materialize or not. And it is very important for us to understand that we are all anointed by God. We are all called by God. But our results, our exploits, and our impact in ministry can never be the same, simply because of the capacity that each one of us carries. And that is why in this lecture, I want God to use this lecture to help you to build strong capacity that will cause you to make impact and do great things and do exploits for God. Now, when we talk of capacity, what is capacity? Capacity, number one, is the ability or the space to hold and contain something. Capacity is the ability or space to hold and contain something. The second definition of capacity is a large heart, broad-mindedness, skill, and competent ability to do things in an effective way. I will say it again. Capacity is ability or space to hold and contain. It is large heart, broad-mindedness, skill, and competent ability to do things in an effective way. Capacity is very important in ministry. Now, I want to give you some few facts about capacity. Some facts about capacity. Number one, everything has divine or installed capacity. Everything has divine or installed capacity. Everything. If you are a frequent traveler, and I believe that many of us have been traveling frequently, there are various cabins you can fly in. Okay, you can fly in with economy, you can fly in with premium economy, and that is if you are using British Airways, and then you can also do business class and do first class. That is British Airways. Now, each passenger is given an allowance, okay, of luggage that they can travel with. If you are traveling in economy, the weight of your luggage could be 23 kg. If you're a frequent traveler and you are silver or gold, or you are flying business class or first class, you have an allowance of 23 kg. So when you go into the checkout and you hand in your luggage to the beautiful lady or gentleman behind the check-in table, they will put your luggage on the carousel, on the belt. Now, that belt you see over there has an inbuilt capacity The capacity of that belt is up to 33 kg. So any luggage that is beyond 33 kg on that belt, because the belt has been configured to carry weight up to 33 kg, if the weight is above that, the belt cannot move, because there is an inbuilt capacity into that belt. The same applies to lifts or elevators. Every elevator has got its inbuilt capacity, and any weight that is beyond the inbuilt capacity of the elevator means that the elevator cannot move to get to its destination. So everything, equipment that we use in church, amplifiers, they have their inbuilt capacity. Everything has its divine or installed capacity. You and I also, we have our inbuilt capacity. The second fact about capacity I want you to note is that it can be your greatest asset or liability. Your capacity can be your greatest asset or your liability in life. The third thing about capacity is that it cannot be divorced from you. Everybody is attached to their capacity. Then your capacity can be a limiter or a lifter. Now, I want you to write this point, the next point. I want you to notice it and write it in capital letters. Your degree of fruitfulness is the degree of your capacity. Your degree of fruitfulness is the degree of your capacity. So the fruit you bear in life and ministry is determined by your capacity. The next fact about capacity is that God will not give you more than you can hold or handle. God will not give you more than you can hold or handle. And then you will never produce beyond your capacity. I'm giving some facts about capacity. You can't produce beyond your capacity. As a matter of fact, I have a bottle of water here. Okay? No matter the amount of water I have available from a different source, because of the capacity of this bottle, once it is full, it is full. Very, very important that you understand capacity. You will never produce beyond your capacity, and then you will never fly higher than your installed capacity. The last fact about capacity, please notice this: the inability of a ministry to be great is the inability of the leadership. I'll say that again. The inability of a ministry to be great is the inability of the leadership. That is to say, the inability of leadership affects the inability of the ministry. So these are some few facts about capacity. It is unfortunate that many people in ministry have little capacity, yet they want to produce great things for God and for the kingdom. If you want to produce great things for God, if you want to do exploits in life and ministry, then you must build your capacity. There are certain people, I am telling you, God will never give them 100-member church because they don't have the capacity for 100-member church. God will not give them 500-member church because they don't have the capacity. God gives us, what God gives us is determined by our capacity. So it is very crucial that leaders build capacity, individuals build capacity, Churches build capacity. And please hear this and hear this very well. Your impact, your result, your fruitfulness, your success in ministry is determined by your capacity. In organizations also, capacity is very, very important. Continued stagnation, crisis, and poor quality production of any institution or organization can be traceable to the system in place. Now, every organization also has systems they put in place. The systems they put in place affect the organization's productivity. And that is why this teaching, I just want to take my time to let you understand that you can't grow beyond your capacity. Even your organization cannot grow beyond the organization's capacity. And one of the limiting things of organization capacities, organization growth, is systems that has been put in place. There are certain systems in organization. They are not growth friendly. It brings stagnation. It brings retardation to the growth of the organization. Some systems bring stagnation and retrogression. Some systems have been also grossly compromised, and that is why the organization is struggling. Some systems have capacities that are no longer adequate. So the capacity of certain organizations, the systems of certain organization is no longer adequate to take them to their next level. Some systems are also outdated and irrelevant today. So even in organization, if they don't have the right systems in the organization, it stalls progress, it stalls growth, and it stalls what? Productivity. So many pastors want to have impact in ministry, but they are not expanding their capacity to grow. Listen, your capacity can limit your life, can limit your result, can limit your impact in life and in ministry. There are certain capacities we must acquire in ministry if we want to make impact. Now, before I give you the capacities you must acquire, I want you to please try to, among yourself, try to discuss your views about capacity. If you can give some examples about capacity. I gave a capacity example of using the belt of a lift, capacity of an elevator, or British man will say a lift. Okay, so I want you to also try and give examples of capacity, how capacity can limit or can lift things up. It is very, very important that we understand that. But I want you to note that the seeds that fell on good grounds, same seed that fell on good grounds, some gave birth to 100-fold, or some produce 100-fold, some produce 60-fold, and some produce 30-fold. The fruits of the same seeds were not the same, simply because of the inbuilt capacity of the seed. So capacity is so important. Capacity is the difference between ministers and the result that they produce. Capacity. There is somebody, if you give him a 10-member church, the person will be able to increase the church to 500 within the shortest possible time. There's somebody also, when you give him a 100-member church, who reduce the church to 2.5. Why? Capacity. Capacity. There are some people, you give them departments to handle, you give them something to do, they are not able to do it because of their inbuilt capacity. So there are certain areas that leaders must build capacity if they want to see greatness, they want to make impact, if they want to do mighty things for the kingdom. So number one area where you must develop capacity is mental capacity. Mental capacity. Mental capacity means that you are growing your mind, and this comes by learning, knowing, understanding, and comprehension. You must learn. And please, I want to encourage everybody to get Dr. Festus' book on discipleship, and then his book on marriage that he is written, and then the power of vision. In fact, I saw these books, and then Prospering in Hard Times. These are books you have to read and read and read to stretch your mind, especially the power of vision. And I believe that the power of vision must even be made a mandatory book for every student. Awesome book. Many years ago, I had the privilege to read that book, and I still remember the nuggets in those books. So mental capacity, you must read wide. You must engage your mind. So that is the first area you must build capacity mentally. And then please, there's what we call physical capacity. That is taking good care of your health, making sure that your body is in good shape. It's very unfortunate that a lot of pastors don't take good care of themselves. They don't have adequate rest. They don't eat very well. They are not healthy. They are not healthy. Physically, you have to be strong. You have to be healthy. And please, especially when you're about 40 years, please stop taking the sodas. Stop taking sweets. Okay? And please eat a lot of fiber and grains. It's very, very important. So we must also have physical capacity. Learn to walk all the time to build physical capacity. Then spiritual capacity. You must build spiritual capacity. Spiritual capacity, I'm talking about depth of character, the presence of God on your life, and maturity. See, depth of character, the presence of God, and what? Maturity. It is your spiritual life that controls everything about your life. One key thing I don't joke with is my spiritual life. Our physical life is controlled by our spiritual life. Whatever you see happening on earth, first and foremost, happened in the realms of the spirit. As a matter of fact, your spiritual capacity will determine your physical manifestation. So it is crucial that you build spiritual capacity, and also make sure that you have good character. Okay? You have the presence of God working in your life, and you are maturing in the faith. Well, whilst I'm on this same terrain, I want to encourage you that enlarge your spiritual capacity. Every day, I listen to nothing less than 5 to 6 hours of faith building messages for the past almost 30 years now. It has become a lifestyle. Even today, I've done it. Then leadership capacity. The ability to lead different kinds of people through what? Influence. Leadership capacity. John Maxwell always says something about the law of the lead. No organization can grow beyond the capacity of the leader. And that is why Every leader must increase his leadership capacity, ability to lead different kinds of people through different kinds of influence and stages. Hear this. It is not a pastor that grows a church, but a pastor leader that grows a church. So leadership is very important. So you need to increase your leadership capacity, and then financial capacity. Learn how to make, manage, and multiply money. You know, somebody can assist you here and there, but you can't keep going to that person for all the time for financial assistance. You must have financial intelligence in life and in ministry, that whatever has been given to you, you have to multiply it. And these principles are really helped me. Maybe one of these days we'll talk about, you know, developing financial intelligence in life and the ministry. Many pastors don't have financial intelligence, so they can't make money, they can't manage money, and they can't multiply money. Let me also tell you, in this era that we are living in, if your church is small, I will encourage you to become bivocational. Very, very important, you know. And the end time pastor must have the mind of an entrepreneur and then the heart of a shepherd. Financial capacity, then social capacity, ability to get along with community, with your community and people, and love them. You must be able to love people. You must be able to associate with all kinds of people. You must be socially nice. Then conflict capacity. These are capacity you have to develop, and I'll be finishing soon. Conflict capacity, the handling, solving, and settling problems and crisis in admirable way. How to solve crisis in admirable way. So there will be challenges, there will be crisis, but you must have the ability to handle conflict and crisis very well. And then management capacity. My goodness, the planning, the arranging and managing things in progressive, prompt, and growth-friendly ways. Ability to manage things very well. It's important that every leader, every pastor also learn church management and church administration to be able to manage the church very well. There are some pastors, I'm telling you, they don't preach any fire. They don't. But church is booming, doing very well because they have strong managerial systems and capacities. And then the last capacity you must acquire is production capacity. Changing systems and structures that hinder quality productions. Quickly. How do I increase my capacity for great impact? This one I'll just give them to you, and then we will break and have some discussions. Number one, personal trainings. Personal training. You have to embark on personal training. Train yourself. Okay? You must train and retrain yourself. You must go for courses that can sharpen you and challenge you to grow. So personal training is important. Then associates training. Okay, training your church workers, training even the workers in your company. Make sure that they are growing. You see, your success in life and ministry is determined by the people that are surrounding you. If the people that are surrounding you, they are not growing, they are not building capacity, you cannot also become effective. So make sure that you train your associates, you train your workers, and then also have what I call mentoring. Okay, you must be mentored, and that is why I want all of us to take this particular school very seriously. You have not even finished, or you can't even finish. Once we finish this section and there is any opportunity to move higher, you have to come back. You see, you have to always come back, and then again seek to have personal mentorship with Dr. Festus. I know he's very, very busy, but please let him mentor you. Okay, he's a great mentor. He mentors all of us, and so please seek mentorship. Seek mentorship. Look at his marriage. Look at the ministry. Look at, the results in New York and all over the place. So you need to be mentored. In fact, it has been said that it is almost impossible for a person to succeed in their field of endeavor without any form of mentorship. And lastly, also try and use consultants. There are times you have to get people that have the skill to come in to speak to you and then also help you to build and develop capacity. Listen to this. Your fruits, your results, your exploits, your impact in life is determined by your capacity. Now, what I want you to do right now is that please, for the next 90 days, for the next 120 days, I want you to go on capacity building. Work on the various areas that I have mentioned. Read books, okay? Intentionally work on your capacity. For the past 1 year, for instance, by the grace of God, I've been embarking on growing my capacity. I'm learning so many things. I recently started learning even Hebrew and Greek. I'm taking all kinds of courses to enhance my capacity for whatever I am doing. I believe that when you go over these teachings over and over again, you will be able to build a capacity that will ultimately affect your results, your productivity, and increase in life. God richly bless you, and God bless you. Bye-bye.